Another week, another Sideline Sports. We got Dave DeRocher here, John Shear, Jake Malik enjoying a festive dinner. He'll be here as soon as he can. The festivities are unbelievable from what I hear, and none of us got an invite. I
Nope.
mean, poor Dave's eating breakfast for dinner, and he'll tell us more about that in a minute. John, I don't know if he even ate tonight. Look at how skinny he looks.
I ate lasagna and Texas toast, so I'm happy.
We'll talk about lasagna another time, John, because I have
Oh,
a
I love
feeling that the
lasagna.
sauce is not qualified to call it lasagna.
What garbage lasagna do you eat?
No garbage lasagna, John.
You
I,
Stouffer's.
don't.
I,
You don't
I'm
know good
from
lasagna if it bit you in the ass.
I'm from the Italian variety, John. We only eat the good lasagna. But anyway, let's move along and let's talk real quick before we get to our guest. Dave, what a run by the Aztecs, Dave. But they
Indeed.
came into a UConn team that was phenomenal. What do you think about the whole tournament run and what the Aztecs were able to do?
Yeah, we knew it was going to be, a tall order, to use it actually literally. I mean, they were big, they were long, and you could tell, especially if you've played the game, you can tell when you're intimidated. And the shots they were taking, is like they weren't even looking at the basket; they were looking for the hand. They were looking like to avoid getting blocked, and everything was pressed. Every shot was on a rim, was either short or pressed, and there wasn't any confidence. And then the other thing is, man, it was one shot and done. We weren't getting any offensive boards. They just controlled the boards. Our free throw shooting, you knew it was going to at some point come up and shoot us in the foot, and it did. We're all like sub 70 shooters, and but I'll tell you what. All that being said, 5 minutes left to go. I think we pulled within 5 or 6. Right, what we do, we're down
It was
12 to
impressive.
20. You're going, what the heck? And then 5 minutes left, within 5 to 6. That's why I'm a little hoarse, man. We started getting the "Let's Go Aztecs" going, and. But it was just too much. It was just too much, and but heck, that was just great for the school. It was great for the program. I don't think any of us saw it coming. We've had some pretty decent teams, and this wasn't the one we expected to do so well. But that was fun to watch, fun to be a part of.
I gotta say, I am very happy for Danny Hurley. I mean, he was abused. I remember going to a St. John Seton Hall game when he played for Seton Hall,
Mhm.
and we would abuse him and just chant Bobby, to the point where it was just, you felt bad for him, but we were in our 20s, and you know that type of abuse is okay. You're not cursing at the guy, you're just chanting, but you felt bad for him, and it happened to be like a night or two before his brother's car crash. And
Mhm.
what the guy went through, how he hated the game of basketball for a little bit, and to come back and to become a head coach and to win a national championship. I'm actually very happy for him. To
He
me,
was a
that was
player. He was a
yeah,
player, though. He was
yeah.
scrappy. Yep.
He was good. He just wasn't as good as his brother, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a shame because he just used to take a lot of abuse for it because you know nobody liked nobody liked it when you were a St. John's fan seeing the him at Seton Hall. And it was an easy thing to attack.
So my little brother, um, I was decent in basketball. We talked about, I played at state once one year, but through high school, I made it to final cut for Olympic development. So I was a decent basketball player. And my younger brother was always called Little DeRocher. He hated it. He hated it.
Yeah.
And he didn't come on, and he sprouted later. He's 6'9", and he's now the all-time leading scorer, still the all-time leading scorer for Azusa Pacific University, a little NAIA school here, but
Wow.
they've had some decent teams, and 30 years has held that scoring record. So I understand being the younger brother and overcompensating and coming out of the shadows, man. But he did it.
And to think of what, like with your brother, for example, an NIA school, those guys go to school for 4 years. They're not like they're leaving one and done. So to
Right.
have that record for all those years, that's impressive. I mean, I'm sure there were some good players that came after him, and they
Yeah, but
still haven't toppled it.
it was also an indication he's a black hole, man. He thought every time down the floor it needed to touch his hand and it was going in.
That's awesome. So, John, what were your thoughts about the whole NCAA tournament?
Yeah, I actually think it's interesting that the women's championship game got relatively close to the men's championship game as far as ratings. 30 million, I believe it was for the NCAA for the men's side, and 10 million for the women's side, which is really good because I feel like the women are closing the gap. But all of that's overshadowed by that stupid conversation. I'm not even going to really get into it. I
Oh,
hate
we'll
it.
get into that later because we have a lot to talk about with that.
I don't know. I just think that the women did a great job in their whole side and the marketing and everything, the basketball, the everything. Like they did a much better job than the men's side with their tournament as far as just the whole thing in general with the play, marketing, with how exciting it was. And I'm not even talking about the controversy at the end. You didn't even need that for the women's side to have been as great as it was. It was, to me, in my opinion, it was better than the men's side this year, and that's a rarity. So that's what I thought. It's not because San Diego State or Florida Atlantic made it. Like, it's not because those schools made it why I'm saying that. I just think the women did a better job for once than the men as far as their entire grasp of the whole tournament. I think the women did a great job. The men did a great job too, but women's side
John,
was just
I'm going to ask you to
fantastic.
hold that thought because we have pulled one of the best Hollywood A-listers we could pull for tonight's show. We have the one and only Samuel Jackson coming on the show tonight. I mean, this can't be. John, how did we get such a guest?
That looks like the Marvel Sam Jackson.
Well, But without further ado, let's bring him on screen.
Let's bring the real Sam Jackson.
Oh, wait. We got the even better version.
Yeah, he's better looking.
The lineman out of the University of Central Florida, Sam Jackson. How you doing tonight?
Doing great. How are y'all?
Doing well. So, listen, we have an offensive lineman that's here with us that hosts the show. And when I heard we have the opportunity to bring in a lineman to interview, I'm like, Dave's going to love this. Because linemen, we love linemen. I was a lineman in high school. I didn't play past that, but, us linemen, we stick together. So I know Dave's got to be happy.
Well, yeah, and the chicks dig us. So
They're the best people on the team too. So.
Yeah, the smartest ones on the team for sure,
and the best looking,
and the worst hands.
Well, that's actually not true.
Because if we could catch them, it would all been tight ends.
So Sam, tell us a little bit about what made you choose UCF.
So through the recruiting process, actually the first team I got an offer from was Miami, and that was like 10th grade. And I remember going down to visit, and I was like, wow, this is really cool and all that. And they were trying to get me to commit on the spot, and I was like, I'm only in 10th grade. Like, why would I commit right now? So I didn't end up committing there, but I'm glad I didn't because I don't know, I didn't really like the area. I guess, I mean, it's Miami. I love the Miami area.
Right.
But it's just like the coaching staff and everyone just seemed a little. It wasn't like my style. Like, I'm more like family oriented. Like, I want a brotherhood. It just seemed like they were separated. So I went to UCF, and someone gave me advice. They said choose somewhere where if you didn't have football, you would still want to be there. And
I love that.
UCF fit the bill, and there's plenty to do in Orlando, and still a beautiful place, and we play really good football. So.
Yeah, it's funny, Sam. I remember, like I said, when we talked before you were born, and actually probably before your parents were born. Gee, I went up. I had a few offers myself, a couple Pac-10 schools, and I went up to Cal, and it was different times, man. And there's white dudes with dreads, and it's like save the whales, and it rained the whole time. And I'm walking around, and I'm going, holy smokes, I'm gonna get killed here because I wasn't that big. I was 6'7", but I really hadn't lifted any weights yet. And I went down to San Diego State, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it was just like you said. I mean, that's where I would have gone if there wasn't any football involved. And it's far away from home, but still close enough to home and all those things. And I'll tell you, it was a very wise choice for me. So it sounds like that was a good decision that you made. It's easy to chase the name and be a part of something, But then, to be a bigger fish in a small pond and have some success. Not that UCL's really come on as a great program.
And that's one of those things where it's like I wanted to go somewhere where we made a foundation. I was part of that team that got them to the Big 12, and all those years, all the winning. My first year was the undefeated season, so I had a lot of good memories there.
So, now that you're preparing for the draft, what is life like? I mean, you're finished with school, right? You got your master's. You were telling me.
Yeah, I'm done for school for a little bit.
So what's a day in the life like as you're preparing for the draft?
So honestly, for like last 10, 11 weeks before our pro day, because our pro day is pretty late. Our pro day was March 29th, so it was last week. Every single day, I'm waking up. I'm going to go work out at the gym for 3 hours, and then we got to go do some lateral drills later to work on all the underwear Olympics of the combine pro day stuff. And then you have to also do your O-line drill work. You got to get that three times a week. So pretty much that's all I was doing. And then I was living in a hotel because I was down in Deerfield, at a really awesome place called Barwis. And that's pretty much, honestly, living in the hotel. The first week was like okay, but like after that, it made me like stay out of the hotel. So I was at the gym more often than not. And
well, that's definitely a good thing.
Yeah, no, I can't stand hotels now, really.
Mm-hmm.
And who are you working out with?
Mike Barwis. He's been in the game a long time, but back in the day, he used to be the strength and conditioning coach for Michigan and then West Virginia. But he's super scientific about everything, super smart. He works on a lot of neurological people, helping them like just relearn to walk and all that. But he's super smart. He's a great dude.
That's cool. I would imagine that's almost like when you pick your school, picking who you're going to train with.
Absolutely.
It's got to be a decision. I'm sure, Dave, you as well, from when you went from college to the pros, finding that trainer that's going to get the most out of you. It's not just, I'm going to pick up the phone and call whoever, because you have to mesh with them, right?
Yeah. And I tell you, I just keep going to the how it was then and how it is now. Sam having access to all these people. We had a Yellow Pages. But hey, Sam, what that was we had a phone book, and what it had was everybody's name and phone number in it, and we had to find their name as alphabetical, and that's how we called them. Anyway, so we didn't have access to that stuff, and to be honest, I was a guy that because I didn't lift until later, I completely overcompensated and became a nut about it. And when we got to Seattle, the guy started training with me because I put up stupid numbers, but I worked hard at it. Like Sam was saying, 3 hours a day. I was in the gym 2. I was playing basketball 3, and and I just trained my way into having some success. But it was different. There was no online access to anything. You had to read a book if you wanted to know how to do some stuff. There wasn't. We barely even had computers, bro. So,
you guys had to do way more work to just get to the point of having.
Yeah, it was.
But I did do research. I'd get up in the morning, have a dozen eggs, but only 2 yolks. It was all egg whites, and then 3 chicken breasts with no skin, 2 potatoes with just salsa, no sugar, and even back then, we did some research on it, and I trained more like a bodybuilder because I just didn't want to be fat. Even when in Montreal, my last season, I was about 355, but I was in a 40-inch waist, and I worked hard to be in shape and to be like running like a nut downfield. Because that's what I love, man. I love running around. I can tell you look like you're in shape. What's your size, Sam?
I'm 320. I'm 6'5". So I'm just like that. It's fun. Like as an offensive lineman, when like you push your guy down, you're physical, and then you're like running down the field with the running back, or you're out on the screen.
Oh
so
yeah.
I like being the more athletic offensive.
Oh, I love peeling that DB. Like he's just kind of like sauntering up, and he doesn't see you coming, and you just take him off the film. I remember we had threw an interception. I was in New York, and I'm running downfield, and I hear this DB go, "Oh, Oh, hell no, 73. I seen you on film. He ran the other way.
That's always a fun thing. Whenever you see them make a business decision, they're like, "Yeah, I'm not."
I like that. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Wow. Poor John seems lost. John's like he's going to make a business decision.
Yeah, if I was a defensive back, I wouldn't make no business decision. Like, I wouldn't be scared. No offensive lineman. Wouldn't be scared.
Wow.
You can't be scared as a football player. Like, if you're scared, why are you playing?
I don't know.
Business
Have you
decision.
seen?
What kind of player makes a business decision? Your business decision should be best possible play for the team, not I'm going to get my hands dirty. Like, yeah, you're not a football player if that's how you're going to go about your day. Like, get your hands dirty. You're a football player.
Yeah, John. So what we'll do is we'll make an arrangement. We'll have Sam come at you full speed, and we'll see if you're making a business decision or not.
No, thank you.
Little different.
I wouldn't sidestep.
I like the way you say that, though,
welcome
Sam.
it.
Business decision. He didn't say he was afraid. He was just saying, I want to play another year.
I mean, that's all it is.
That's good.
So I'm not going to ask you what team, but have you thought about where you want to go and, like where you think you'd fit in best looking at rosters around the NFL?
I actually haven't done too much looking at when it comes to like rosters and stuff. My agent, I'm sure, hopefully, will let me know about that. But I grew up a Bucs fan, so I mean, I've been a Bucs fan since Mike Allstott was a fullback. So, that's where I would love to go. I grew up in Bradenton, Florida. It's like an hour away from Tampa, so it'd be really cool just to be a hometown and playing on my favorite team.
Have you met Randy Grimes?
I have not.
Okay, good dude, man. I was just with him at the Super Bowl. We did a bunch of stuff together. He's just a rock star, solid dude. So what round are they predicting for you?
I'm a day 3 guy. Like I was telling JB earlier, there's like 2 teams that had me as like a PFA kind of thing, but there's more teams that say that they, are looking to draft me on day 3. So hopefully, I got to work out with the Bucs actually on Thursday. So
nice.
So I get that shot going up.
And day 3 doesn't mean that doesn't mean anything. That as long as you're on a roster, as long as you work hard and you put all that dedication in, that can definitely shine through. So day 3, that's just the beginning of where your journey. That's just where your journey is going to begin, and nothing wrong with that. That's just how it works.
I think sometimes
seem like a good kid.
I think it's better sometimes to go as that free agent than you're choosing, right? Because there's gonna be a handful for you to look at rather than one team just saying, "Oh, what the hell, we'll take him," that kind of thing. And because I was that dude. I was at 12th round, so I would have been a day 6 in today's whatever. I wouldn't have been drafted. And it was funny because after the first day, my agent was telling me like 7th round or some 6th round, and when that didn't happen, like the next day, and once again, Sam, the phone was connected to a wall. It had a cord on it.
Is there a rotary? Was there?
No, it wasn't rotary. We had a push button. Yeah, we were.
He was rich.
Oh, you guys
had a rich family.
But yeah, I just took off. I went with my brother. We went and played basketball because I was frustrated, and I get home and my parents go, "Where were you?" She goes, "The Rams are calling and Green Bay's calling, and you got drafted by the Seahawks in the 12th round." I'm like, "Oh, okay, good, whatever."
You can't control it. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, and I mean, in all honesty, even if you get drafted by whatever team and they cut you, other teams will see your body of work and they all need people. So, it doesn't matter where you start. It matters where you end up, and your hard work will get you there, without a doubt. If you put good stuff on film, there's nothing that's going to stop you. Just maybe a roster situation where it just doesn't work for them, a payroll situation. You never know.
And the Bucs could use offensive line help for sure because they've been decimated the last 2 years or so on the offensive line. So I'm just saying, maybe maybe fate works out where you end up on the Bucs because they could really use some offensive line help there. And you seem like you could be the perfect fit. Just
absolutely.
Just saying.
I'll make a call. Let me make a call. Let me get Randy. I'll call Randy real quick. Say, Randy, man, reach out.
Randy's good people.
Listen, I know you have really good representation. That I know for sure. So you already started in the right direction. That's probably one of the most important things is to make sure whoever represents you knows what they're doing. After that, you just got to do your work and everything else will work itself out. I mean, there's
Yep.
as long as you put the work into it, and which you've done at this point, you'll be fine. So, what do you like to do off the field?
So off the field, I'm a very big PC gamer kind of guy. So I have, I got the whole dual monitor setup, RGB kind of thing.
Nice.
But I like hanging out with family and just hanging out with friends. Obviously with the newest computer technology days, we can talk to our friends very easily. And
But wait, but you don't know about Tecmo. Tecmo Bowl.
Oh, love
now
Tecmo.
we're talking.
You don't know about Tecmo Bowl. So, those little block figures. And they went.
And
Going like the Sega or whatever.
This is like the football game, right? This was like
Yes.
So, and I did the very first Madden commercial. I used to do some acting in the off season, and we did the very first Madden, and we got the disc of the Madden game. I wish I still had that doggone thing. That'd been really cool to have. I didn't know nothing from it, man. I didn't know how to put it in where to stick it, what to do with that thing.
You did some acting too.
I had Pong and Atari. Yeah.
Wow, Atari. Now we're talking.
Dave's also the president of one of the NFLPA chapters, correct, Dave?
Oh, really?
Yeah, in Orange County. Yep.
Okay. Awesome.
Hey, you know what? And hey, in all seriousness, Sam, I know where you're at, and even though it's a different era, it's always the same. As JB mentioned it, I played with a guy, Steve Largent, who got, was a free agent, got released by Dallas, and is in the Hall of Fame. You just keep doing you and doing your thing. And hopefully JB somehow can connect us. And if I can ever be a resource for you, or even just a dude just saying whatever you're dealing with or whatever you're going through, or at some point, because it will happen at some point when everything ends and you want to know what kind of benefits there are or resources or whatever. And I know a lot of dudes. So, if I can be of any resource or any help to you, please let me know.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I'll do a group text after we're done so you guys can be in touch.
Good.
So I got to ask you, Sam, because we had one of the questions in the chat, and poor Will really wants to know: did you ever play with Dylan Gabriel, or do you know Dylan Gabriel?
Yeah. So actually, I was there when he was a freshman in his first year when he started. He's a really good kid. He's a hell of an athlete. I don't know if you're an Oklahoma fan. I assume you are. But he's doing really good things, and I know when that team gets together and they gel, they'll probably be a really good team in the Big 12. I'm still rooting for the UCF Knights, no Sooners. But he was actually 2019 was his first year, and our QB got hurt right before the season playing basketball, and he just kind of stepped in as a true freshman, had to take a team that had just gone 25-1. And now he has to step in and be the guy. So he did a really good job. He's also a great family and all that.
Well, Sam, I appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you,
It was a pleasure having you. I can't wait to see, because to me, this was why I watched day 2 and day 3 of the draft, because if I've spoken to somebody,
Absolutely.
we watch it anyway just to see who our teams get.
Right.
But it's interesting when you get to actually interview somebody and learn about them and see. What's Dave got here? Here we go.
Pretty big UCF. I like it.
UCF. I told you. This is a blanket my mom made me with all my just T-shirts and stuff. But not so much. We were training in the weight room, throwing 405 around for reps, and the strength coach says, "Bro, you need one of our shirts." It's on my blanket, so I'm not making stuff up.
I love that.
That's awesome. We're gonna have to take a tour of Dave's stuff. That's pretty cool.
Well, you know what? The good news is, guys, when I'm saying stuff, I'm not full of it, right?
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
of course.
I'm not just saying it because I want to be Sam's friend.
But no, I appreciate you guys having me on here too. And it was
Of course, sure. You're welcome back anytime. Best of luck in the draft. We're rooting for you, man.
Yeah, let us know where you land, man, so we can pray for you.
Yeah,
yes,
for sure.
Appreciate you guys.
Right on.
Thank you, Sam. Have a great night.
You too.
All right, man. Good luck.
All right, thank you.
All right, so that was Sam Jackson, the
Hey,
real.
You sprung it
Sam
on me,
Jackson.
man. That would have been nice to know, but what a great kid.
Right?
Yes.
What a great kid.
Fantastic.
Listen,
How'd you connect with him?
So I've dealt with his agent for from actually when I first started doing shows. I interviewed 15 of his guys in 2 days because they wanted to get them on the air.
Mhm.
And that's actually how I got pretty much my started podcasting and doing shows, because from that, Believe really liked my interview style because I'm not all X's and O's. Because I think there's more to people besides that. I mean, we see that every time we're watching a game, and it's just, all right, well, he has a 4.6840. Okay, let's learn about the person. We'll talk about the football too, but let's know about who he is.
Yeah, for sure.
So they enjoyed my interview style, and his agent is a phenomenal guy. Kept in touch with him over the years, and I always ask him if he has anybody who wants to get any airtime too. I'll take his guys in a second because they're all really good kids. Last out of the 14 kids, I think he had a few that got drafted, a couple went free agent route, and they were just good kids though. Like I just sat there and I was it was enjoyable conversation.
Well, you can tell, and so let's not forget to connect me with him because I
definitely I will as soon as we're done with this.
Anything I can do to help support him, and any of these young guys when they start going through it and the stress of camp and all those things, or getting released, and then what's next, and the agent's always going to pump you up, but you sometimes just want to hear the real deal, and
our next guest knows all about that.
I mean,
all about that life.
Speaking about some great things. So coming up next, we're going to talk a little MMA. Lights Out 9. We got Sean Merriman coming in. We all know Sean Merriman. How you doing, Sean?
Hey, Sean.
What's up, guys?
We're excited. We see you got your event coming up in May. It's going to be in LA at the Marriott Burbank. It's also going to be on Fubo TV, which is phenomenal. So you're doing MMA, which I find interesting. What led you into getting involved in MMA from football?
Well, to be honest, man, I started to train during the off season between 2005 and 2006. I remember, being in the gym with Jay Glazer in LA, and he said, "Hey, I think this MMA thing might help you out with football, help you use your hands and be more active as an outside linebacker and pass rusher." So, my answer to him was, "Hey, if anything will help me with football, sign me up, right?" And then he sent me a text. The next day I showed up to the gym, and I got Jay Glazer on my left and I got Randy Couture on my right. And so I'm looking at Jay. I said, "Look, I hope you don't plan on me fighting Randy Couture today because that's not happening." But what I did find out is that there was a lot of similarities and a lot of things that did help me in football and use my hand-eye coordination, leverage, being able to turn the corners against those big offensive tackles and whatnot. And I just started to train every offseason at that point. In 2018, I launched Lights Out Extreme Fighting. As you said, we're now on Fubo Sports, Fubo TV. Got a big fight Saturday, May 6th. These young up-and-coming superstars, man. We got about 4 guys on this card that I think are going to have a really good shot at being superstars. And because I've been around athletes, my whole life and big-time athletes, I can look at them and say, you know what, that kid right there is going to be big one day.
Hey, Sean, where are you? Where are you based now?
I'm in Vegas, between Vegas and Los Angeles, but
okay.
Every 7 days I find myself on a flight, so I don't know where the hell I'll live at this point.
All right, but I'm the president for the NFLPA here in Orange County, so just right down the street, and so JB sent me the invite, and love to get some guys there if that works out.
Yeah, absolutely. We're right there at the Burbank Marriott Event Center, right next to the Burbank Airport. So it's not too far from you, and you'll come and you'll see our show, man. Our production is top notch. I hired a really good inside operations team, and we just look to put on the best show for the fans, man. Our last show we had in January in Riverside, actually, we broke into the Fubo Sports top 10 most watched all time. So. For us, that's great because they got a bunch of great programming on there. For us to be up there mentioned with international soccer is kind of crazy to me.
Yeah,
that's phenomenal. So where do you see the Lights Out franchise going? What's next for you guys?
Well, this last fight also that we had was shown in Canada, France, and some parts of Spain. So it was like our first international event. I remember looking down at my social media, and I had a bunch of people following me from France. And I'm like, I know they don't watch football out there, so they had to be following me for a different reason. I ended up finding out we were showing out there as well. So, with us, there's a lot of great fighters, especially in the Southern California area, that's looking to get on the card and showcase their talent. And we obviously know that some of these guys are going to end up with the UFC. We don't have a problem with that. But, I'm very fortunate that they want to come and have a fight with us first before they go and move anywhere else.
Well, kind of like the XFL, right? I mean, you're still pertinent. Still, you're bringing value. You're bringing guys. You're keeping them going, and letting them get to that next level. And that's a great thing to be a part of as well.
Yeah, and the good thing about being kind of this farm league or feeder system is when you have a great partner like football and people can watch you all around the country, it don't come across that way, right? Because a lot of these fighters want to be seen. They want sponsorship money. They want their friends, family, and everybody who can't make the fight to be able to watch them. And so for us, it's been fun for me, especially to promote them. Definitely when I know they're going to be superstars, I'm looking at these guys. I'm like, okay, yeah, he's because some of them got really crazy personalities.
Uh-huh.
Some of them are really good with media. They got this thing about them where I can sit back and say, you know what, that guy or that woman is going to be big one day, and I know it.
So how do you go about signing the fighters? I mean, are you personally involved in that? Do you have a team that does it?
Yes, it's the matchmakers, man. But when you're running a whole company, you find yourself with your hands in everything, right? So we might have a guy that's on the fence because we had a couple on this card that had UFC contracts on the table, and they wanted to get 1 or 2 more fights with us before they take off. So I said, hey, bring it on. We'll obviously promote you to be a great show. They're local, so they can get their friends, family, their coaches, and people in their gym to come out and watch them. And so that to me is the funnest part about the whole business. And now I was in Texas about a month and a half ago, and I had people out there. I was eating at a restaurant. And they came up to me and said they was watching the show. So that stuff is really cool for me to know we have that type of influence, that type of growth.
That's awesome. I love how it just keeps exploding. MMA has a bunch of different companies that do it, but I'm excited to see that you're involved, and I can't wait to see where your company goes. I mean, you have a great passion for it, and it's really cool to see. We also have an MMA show, so definitely if you have guys that are looking for some airtime, we can definitely help facilitate that. They do a really good job, and they're always looking to promote the sport. I wish I understood more about it. I've learned a lot about it over the last year, but it's interesting,
Yeah, it's so funny you said that because obviously when I do shows like this and I get an opportunity to come on with guys like you and you guys, the other fighters, they see it, and so when they see me on something, they'll shoot me a text or a DM and say, Sean, I'm trying to get on that show, put me on. I'm like, dude, I'm not your publicist, bro. I'm throwing the. I'm worried about the sponsors and the fans and selling tickets and working with football and production and everything else. And before you know it, I'm matchmaking and I'm everybody's publicist too. So it's like,
you're doing nothing. What are you talking about? What kind of responsibilities is that? Get them on the shows. Come on.
I know. If there was 2 more hours in the day, I can be a publicist too. But I'm maximizing everything I got right now.
Well, Sean,
So the guys are going to ask, what's the NFL alumni discount?
Free 99. Come on. This is family here, man. So I got we do got a bunch of former guys that's coming to the fights. Keenan Allen's been to our fights, and Melvin Gordon, and I've had LeVar Arrington was at one of the ones not too long ago. So we always have a bunch of former guys come in, celebrities, and I've had Rey Mysterio at our fights. He's come to a few of him and his son Dominic, who's killing it right now in WWE. And so, I'm fortunate, man, because I have a bunch of great relationships. So it's just phone calls and everybody hitting me up saying, hey, I'm in town. I'm trying to get to the fight.
Yeah.
And so to have them there, man, and that support has been really cool.
That's awesome. So again, it's May 6th, Saturday night. Here's the flyer up on the screen so everybody can see it.
And we'll post on all of our social medias later as well.
It's at the Los Angeles Marriott Burbank. Make sure, if you're in the area, buy tickets. If not, Fubo TV, make sure you're watching. Sean Merriman, Lights Out 9. Great company, great MMA matches. I'm excited. I want to watch it. I can't wait. And Dave gets to hopefully go, and he'll tell me what a great atmosphere it is. And when I'm out in the LA area and you have the next one, I hope to be there as well.
No, absolutely, man. Look, if I can go every 6 weeks, every 4 to 6 weeks, it'd be great. But I tell you, man, this live sports business is a different ball game, man, because it's a whole different word you got. But if we can go every 6 weeks, man, that's my target goal.
That's awesome.
Right
So, where can people get tickets, Sean?
At lightsoutxf.com. You can get your tickets at lightsoutxf.com. Most of the GAs are already sold out. We got some cage and some premier seats left. And a lot of people try to come up to the door and buy tickets, but it's pretty much sold out most of the time, which is a good thing.
Right.
So at some point in time we'll be at bigger venues or bigger casinos or whatnot. But Marriott Burbank, they've been a great partner of ours.
Well, we
So,
appreciate
Sean,
it.
yeah. So, Sean, you on Sideline Sports, we like to talk to athletes. When we talk to them, we like to talk to them about things that are not on the field, not on the court, not in the rink, because there are people. I mean, you guys are actual people. Like, you're not just, hey, you put on a helmet and that's all you are from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock. And for my fantasy stats, that's not what you are. Like, you're actual people. So you do a lot of great things behind the scenes. So can you talk about your Lights On Coat Drive? I've covered that before. I absolutely love what you do with that. Your 21st annual Lights On Coat Drive is in November. I believe it's every November, right?
Every November, yeah. So I just finished up my 20th annual, and I feel old as hell. And, the cool thing about it is when I started this thing, I grew up in Prince George's County, Maryland, and
not that far from me.
That's right. We were left. Back in the 90s and early 2000s, it was a rough place in Washington, D.C. I mean, we grew up pretty rough, and we lost our home due to fires. And, we lived in shelters, lived in motels. And I just remember it was one of the worst blizzards out there. I think it was blizzard of 96 or something like that. And I just remember having, two jackets on, and I had socks on my hands because we couldn't afford gloves. And I was like, damn, this sucks. I would never want anybody to feel like this again. So my, I believe it was my freshman, towards the end of my freshman, going into my sophomore year at the University of Maryland, I said, you know what? I got a platform now, and I'm on the field playing, big time ACC football. And I got access to some media, and I wanted to promote this coat drive. Initially, I thought, my first year we'll get like 100, 200 coats. If you get 100 coats, 200 coats, you're helping 200 people. And that's how I looked at it. And we got 2,800 coats. And I said, oh, hell, okay, this is a different ball game. And from that point on, I knew it was something that I had to do every single year. So as I just said, we just finished up our 20th annual. I think over 28,000 coats collected over the last 20 years. So it's been cool to do that. And when I made a joke about feeling old, because when I first started, you got people there who was my age or a little bit older. Now they got kids that are got mustaches and beards themselves, and I'm like, okay, all right, now I'm really getting old. Those kids who I used to see, they got kids of their own, and that's what's really important, though.
It's bigger than football.
We just had a kid, Sam Jackson, who's waiting on the draft, in a couple of weeks, and I was sharing with him when I was waiting for the draft and how the phone was attached to a wall, and we didn't have a computer. So when you say you're old, and I'm like, oh, bro, no, I'm 58. So you're still a youngin', man.
But look, I play football, so I'm actually 58 in dog years too. So
I'm 78. I didn't play as many years as you did, but played enough.
Yeah.
Well, sure. We definitely appreciate you taking the time. You're more than welcome to come on anytime you have an event.
Yep.
Definitely before the coach drive as well. We would love to help promote it. But we look forward to seeing what happens on May 6th. I know it's going to be a great event. And thanks for taking the time to come on.
You got it, guys. Thanks for having me. Dead serious. If you guys want to come set up at the fights or anything you need on that end, we put on a hell of a show. And so come check us out. Get for people out there, get your tickets at lightsoutxf.com and watch us on Fubo. If you don't have Fubo, get it. You don't want to miss this one.
Right on. Good luck,
Thank you, Sean. We really
okay. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right,
have a great night, man.
You too.
All right. So without further ado, the one and only Jake Malik is going to join us. And not only Jake, we're going to bring in the best part of our show besides myself and Dave. We got Raphael.
Ow.
You know.
Well, hello everybody. I've missed you all so much.
It's been a
I'm
while.
so happy to be
You
back.
took a week off. Now you come in, you stroll in 39 minutes into the show.
Look, I'm still trying to recover from being in Vegas. The time difference is not pleasant.
The camera's only added like 2 pounds.
Oh, thanks, John.
You're welcome.
Read between the lines.
it's
That's
good
for
to
you
look
because
up.
I missed you very much.
How's it going tonight, Raphael?
First of all, I want to say, Jake, thanks for letting me know you were in town. I mean,
Let me tell you
What a
something.
jerk.
So-
Let me
What
tell
a
you
jerk
something.
Jake is.
The amount of time I had at night for myself was about an hour. So it is nothing personal. I would have loved to. I worked like 8 a.m. to like 6 p.m., came home, ate dinner, and went to sleep every night.
Not according to
Otherwise,
the
I would
text.
have
It was
loved to
ha
have
ha
come
ha.
see you.
Plenty of time at night. I'm gonna make sure
Yeah,
Raphael doesn't run into me.
I
Out
bet you
here.
he paid for all
What
those
he
dinners.
said.
See, I would have got free. I would have got free dinner. So
Nah,
hey.
Listen,
company
if you're in
dinners, man.
Vegas, you got to
Company
call
dinner.
Raphael. This is just bad.
Hey, speaking of dinner, I want to know that Raphael, when they start making a line on what taco I'm going to eat, I know I've made it. And
Raphael,
and
seriously.
today was avocado omelet tacos.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's gourmet right there.
If you put a little sweet potato fry in there, oh, that's a good one.
So the house, yeah, no, I had a potato one 2 weeks ago.
Oh.
So yeah, the house would have raked in on that one.
Damn, now I'm hungry.
So, Raphael, what the Final Four just ended. WrestleMania was this weekend. How big was the betting on the Final Fours and the
finals.
WrestleMania?
Don't forget the finals.
I would say just the weekend alone. I mean, the women action we got for the Final Four was probably the most I've ever seen in any women's sport. WNBA finals, U.S. women's soccer, especially in their championship fights or championship matches. It was unbelievable the amount of action we got just on the championship game. Men's Final Four, the FAU San Diego State had more actions because everyone thought UConn was going to run away with Miami. So didn't get that much action on that one. Everyone got their money worth with San Diego State. It was the best scenario for us because everybody took San Diego State minus the points and FAU covers, but San Diego State wins. So the wife got to do extra shopping on Amazon that evening. But last night was a light. I think everyone was kind of scared about the game because I think everyone was cheering for San Diego State. They're the underdog, 7.5 point favorites. West Coast team hasn't won it since Arizona in the 90s. But 7.5, and let's face it, UConn was the best team all through the tournament. No disrespect to San Diego State, no disrespect to Dave, but they've won every game at double digits coming into that game. So didn't get that much action on the championship game because I think people was afraid that it could be a UConn blowout, but didn't want to pull the trigger on the plus points of San Diego.
Well, I'll tell you what, Raphael. When I was watching that game, and I'm still a little hoarse from it, but San Diego State was doing that San Diego State thing. They were down by 12, 18. Yep. All of a sudden, 5 minutes left, they pull within 5, and I'm thinking that's what they've done every game. They get to within 5 or 6 striking distance, and then nail it at the end. And I'm like, oh my gosh, could you imagine if they it's just we're a little too overconfident, but no, they were just too long, too big, and
we opened up San Diego State for next year, 75-1 to win it all next year.
That's not actually bad odds.
And after the game, now they're 66-1.
Dave, it'll make you feel better to know I was heavily rooting for San Diego State for you. I would have loved that.
Oh yeah. Well,
I was conflicted. I was really conflicted. It was the Big East. I'm a Big East guy.
Gross.
But I also wanted to see Dave win. I would have liked to see San Diego State, but
No, I think the truth is not only was UConn better, but I think just it has to be said, San Diego State put so much heart into the last game to win at the end. Repeating that level of intensity and that
it takes a lot out
everything.
of you.
I knew they were going to lose because of that. That was a thing I was worried about. Was you can't repeat that. That's so hard.
Well, but they came out of the gate. They were up 8-2.
No, they looked
firing.
I give them credit, but
they got cold, and there's just little intricacies of the game.
Yeah.
We were talking about it earlier. Is that even the layups? You could tell by just where their eyes were. They were more concerned with where the hand, is it a shot to get it blocked? You got 7'3", you got 6'11", you got just athletic, huge guys.
I think
And
part
they
of
were
it,
just going they weren't going
Yeah.
to the bucket like they've done
it's
in the
it's
past.
it's a lack of confidence in that situation.
It
a little
absolutely
bit,
was. And it's
which I
just
understand
subtle,
why.
but you can see it. You can see
You
it.
know, that'd be like, Dave, if I was going up against you in basketball. I don't care if you're the greatest basketball player or the worst. You're bigger, you're stronger, you're definitely gonna be able to stop me. I'd be scared. I'm not gonna pretend like I wouldn't. I'd be pretty scared to go up against you. Doesn't matter if you're good or bad. It's a mental thing. Yeah. It was a good run though. A very good run nonetheless.
Yes.
So Raphael, what's the next big gambling event?
Yeah,
There's
what's
always something that
Masters Week.
Don't get me wrong, we
Right?
can gamble on anything, but what's the next?
What's our next big
thing
underdog?
that someone's going to say, "I can't wait to bet that."
And we
Well,
love
it's not-
golf
that's
around
not me.
here.
It's Masters. I mean, this week's the Masters, but anyone that's going to bet it, read the newspaper first because it's supposed to rain Friday, it's supposed to rain Saturday, it's supposed to rain Sunday. So I would say be very cautious when you're betting the Masters this weekend. I would say if they do go off, which I think they probably will, maybe finish on Monday. Fade the people who are fighting injuries because let's face it, we've all have injuries and playing in damp weather after a big rain. If you have back, knee, and all that, it's going to tighten up. It would not shock me if either Tiger pulls out, withdraws, or doesn't make the cut. Because let's face it, his body is all chopped up. I would say look for that. I think McIlroy and Patrick Reed. I think with the head on, they don't like each other and stuff like that. I would not be shocked if one of those two have an off a tournament. I would say probably Patrick Reed because they keep on asking him about it. And I think McIlroy has pretty much said his piece. So I would not shock me. You can bet him, get good money at 2-1 that he'll finish top 10. Roy McIlroy. So I would think the Masters, and then we got the Kentucky Derby right around the corner, and then of course NHL playoffs and the NBA playoffs, and then women's World Cup soccer is this summer. So for my world, just because something just ended. Like I said, I was watching Trump stuff all day today because I had odds of what color tie he would wear. would he be coming in handcuffs? Would he show his mugshot by 5 p.m., which is
Red,
no.
right? Red one?
Yeah, red one. So
no surprise. No surprise.
And WrestleMania was good for us. If you ever think that wrestling, it's pre-thing. I heard this morning that the reason why Roman Reigns won and because Cody Rhodes was because of the merger. They think now that I heard Roman Reigns now pretty much wants to be on TV a little bit longer because I think they're going to do a lot of cross promotion, maybe a pay-per-view event between 6 matches of UFC and 6 matches of wrestling and stuff like that.
Nice.
So we're going to see some weird stuff with the merger. So that was a big win for it because everybody bet Cody Rhodes for him to be a championship.
Cool.
So that was a nice 6-figure winner for us.
Nice. Now,
nice.
Is there any betting on the par 3 contest at Augusta?
We do. Normally we do. We didn't put that much because of weather. It's supposed to start raining, I think, in the afternoon of that event. I didn't. Being an odds maker and all that, and working in Vegas, the worst thing I hated. I don't care if I lose. If the public beats me, I hate refunding stuff. That is because we put all our time into moving money, getting 2-way action, and then all of a sudden we have to cancel an event, and I'd rather lose and give the money. Hey, you won! Congratulations. See you tomorrow.
Then have to avoid it all.
Yeah, instead of giving everyone their money back into their faces, like, "Oh, I was trying to go watch this event" and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I hate refunding events.
Let me ask you, with the MLB season starting, what is the best odds that somebody can get on not a team to win the World Series, just a team that maybe wasn't very good last year to make the playoffs this year? What are the best odds
Well, if you're doing any kind of,
that have the best odds to do, to maybe make noise, do something like that, right? Is there another team that we're going to see like that? And John, I'm complimenting your team, so enjoy this for a moment because your team is improving. I give you guys credit.
I would say if there's anything you're going to do in baseball is bet the over. The last 18 games, 16 of them gone over the total. So the new baseball rules is producing runs. So I would say that if you're looking for that sleeping team, the Angels have come out red hot, winning some games on the road. You can still get them at 30. You can still get them at 35-1 to win the World Series. So
do you have any to make the playoffs though? Just I don't trust them.
We took those down because the game's being up, but I would think some teams, the Cincinnati Reds, I think they came off. Milwaukee Brewers, I think those two teams. But I know what John wants me to say, and I'm not going to say it.
I don't believe in the Angels at all. Every time,
No,
I
I
mean,
don't
the
either.
Angels haven't been good since like the early 2000s. Like they
John,
always.
Johnny.
I'm with you. There's one simple thing. They have the two greatest players on the planet, and they couldn't make the playoffs with them multiple times. What's going to change
How
this
long
year?
have they
What's
had
what's it
Trout?
matter?
And he's made the playoffs
Listen.
like once.
All I have
Yeah.
to say is the video of Rodon. Anybody ever watch Draft Day?
Yes.
That's
You know,
a
when
great
they're
movie.
when they're talking about nobody went to the 21st birthday, he was by himself. That's what that
Yeah.
video reminded me of, because everybody walked by him. They saw him, confronting the fan. They heard what
Yeah.
they were saying. I mean, I get Ohtani doesn't really speak English, so I'll give him a pass walking by.
But still,
But
a guy,
everybody else just kind
I
of
mean-
walked by like, he's my teammate. I don't care. So you can see they're not together, because I guarantee you, if it was somebody right here that was doing that, one of us would step up and try
Would
to
stop
pull
him, like,
away
hey,
or
you
Yeah,
know,
be like,
don't
man,
do
that's
that.
stupid. Stop.
That's stupid.
I see it all the time in events I go to, casinos. I see it. I mean,
It's happened to you.
Yeah, it's
Floyd
it's happened
Mayweather
to
didn't
me.
like
so, Yeah,
I love that story. You know that.
I want to give a hats out to the Merriman. I was at X7 at I think it was the day before Halloween. I know it was in October, because someone told me I should go to this event because I do odds for MMA and all and stuff like that. So is it upcoming? They still need to figure out some tweaks. They need to promote if you go on the website, they need to promote the fighters more. There's no listing of the fighters anywhere. If you want to up your stage and stuff like that. But it's very, very fun and very active. And the whole event is a people-friendly event. It's not like when you go to UFC and they don't let the fans do this or that's Sean Merriman's event is a people-friendly event. So if you have a kind of 13-year-olds, 14-year-olds, or want to go to a new your first MMA event, highly, highly, highly recommend it. It's so much fun.
That's awesome.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it.
So before you go, Raphael, best bet of the week that you could think of.
I'm going to go with the Masters, and if they play and stuff like that, I want to say how many live golfers will make the cut. The over-under is 10.5. And I'm going to go over. The rivalry, it's dead. The event is dead. There's only two people really making noise. That's McIlroy and Reed. These golfers don't care anymore. I've talked to numerous people who are there right now, and they're all high-fiving. Hey, nice to meet you. How you doing? Stuff like that. The beef is over with. So I think the live golfers are going to have a nice. Do I think one's going to win? I don't think so, but I think the beef is over. There's no more pressure on them anymore.
Well, Raphael, as always, we appreciate you taking the time to come on. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at VSI.sports. You can find me on Instagram at Raphael Spars. You can find me over at DocSports.com, and you can bet.com.
All
We'll
right.
see you next Tuesday.
Before you leave, Raphael, I'm going to give you this. I was in Vegas this last week. I told you I couldn't do it. I'm going to tell you in advance because I know the next time I'm going to be there. In October, if you're a Vegas, native, which you know the area, G2E, one of the biggest expos you guys probably have. I will be there. So I will do my best in October for G2E to come see you, because I was at Amusement and I was at Pizza, and both of those because you're in Vegas. You know how busy they get. Yes. I am going to promise you to do my best to come see you during G2E, and hopefully I'll have some time.
I'm hoping I'm there because I turned 50 in October, and me and my twin brother are trying to find a place where we want to spend our 50th together, and I know Vegas is not one of them. I don't want to be in Vegas when I turned 50, so that'd be the only reason. And I know Dave said he's old at 58, but inside 78. I'm older than all you guys because I've had 8 heart surgeries, and I'm just turning 50. So my insides are 98.
You're still kicking, though.
I always just assume JB's the oldest wherever he goes.
No. Hey, yikes.
But San Diego State, I was rooting for you, Dave. So hopefully we can turn things around. In the Mountain West football, San Diego State will make some noise this year.
Yeah. I think we got some kids, so we'll see how we do.
If only we could.
And I hope we stay there. I hope we don't make the mistake of thinking we belong in the Pac-12, because we don't.
I heard today that the Pac-12 might be just going bye-bye, but that's another show.
Insider information.
Take it easy, guys.
Have a good night, Raphael. So we got 2 minutes. You went to Vegas. You didn't call Raphael.
Dude.
Did you gamble at all?
Not really, no.
Did you put a future bet on the Yankees to do something, or the Giants?
No.
You're not allowed to go to Vegas anymore. You take $5.
Hey, I went
bet
for
the
work.
Giants
I
win
didn't
the
go
Super
because I
Bowl.
wanted. I didn't go because I wanted to gamble. I went because I had
The
work.
casino's open 24 hours. Yes,
There's
take
literally
$5
casinos in your
and you
face.
bet
Oh, I
the
know. There
Giants to
were
win the Super
casinos in
Bowl.
the hotel in front
You
of
know.
me. I watched.
You're out of order.
You can call me what you
So,
want.
JT, put him out of order, please.
I don't have the money to gamble.
$5, you're out of order.
Well, apparently not, because JT's not putting it up. So
JT's
Wow.
a little
There
over.
we are.
There we
you
go.
know, I spoke too soon.
All right, so
Sam
let's go around the
Jackson's
horn
always
real
listening.
quick, and we'll talk more next week. Dave, where can people find you and more about the First and Goal Foundation?
Yep, just Dave Eats Tacos. That's where I'm at. And the firstandgoalproject.com. And we're launching our first set of curriculum and going to help people transition and create better lives.
And Jake, who shows up late?
You guys can find me on Twitter at Jake_Malik, and all the places you see scrolling across the bottom of your screen is the places you can find Sideline Sports. I just want to tell everybody I missed you all, and I'm so happy to be back. I can't wait for next week where I will have a full show. I've missed this.
John?
You can find me Fox Sports 1340am.com. I write all my Orioles articles on there. I cover the Orioles for them. I freelance. And Blue Hawks 13 on Twitter. That's me.
JB_ the program on Twitter. Big
We'll
thanks to Samuel Jackson. Good luck in the draft. Sean Merriman going to have a great MMA event on May 6th. And for everybody out there, we'll see you next week with lots more to talk about. Hopefully a couple more different topics. Until then, we're out of here.